This is the dramatic difference between me bypassing the entire track's Headcrusher units and unbypassing them. As you can see, Headcrusher is an extremely useful and versatile piece of plugin equipment, as is evidenced by the fact that I can throw it on every track, tweak it, and make most of the tracks sound close to my finished idea. So first up, I'm going to throw it on some overhead track for the drums. These sound pretty good. What I'm going to do is start by loading a preset that I've made for overheads by going down to the menu over here, opening up the user folder, and choosing overheads. Maybe a little less emphasis on the lows, so I'm going to adjust the Q so that it's not as resonant, and it's currently choosing the pristine circuit. I'm actually going to increase the sidechain on this one so that only stuff over 200 Hertz gets affected. And I'm actually going to push the drive a little bit hard for this one because the volume's low. Alright, I'm liking the sound of those overheads. Up next, kick. Alright, so it's currently at default. Let's see what I can do. Do I have a preset saved for this? Punchier kick. Decent, but it's got a lot of weirdness going on the low end by default for this particular kick sound. So I'm going to increase the sidechain, keep it American, adjust the Q so that the low cut only affects a little bit of the low end. Oh, actually, I'm going to increase it so that it more affects the low end because I like that thump. Give it a little bit more of that tone so it's clickier, and increase the Q on the high cut. Yeah, that's a good click. I like that. This is what it'd be full mix. This is about half mixed. There you go. And just enough drive. Cool. Next is snare. Let's actually play with this a little bit. I'm thinking vintage. So that's the drive all the way up for the vintage. How about British? Ooh, that's a nice smack. Increase the tone. Sidechain so it doesn't trigger from the low end. Low cut over here. Crank the Q so that it keeps a little fundamental. Ooh. Assassinate it. Increase the drive. Crank the highs. And mix it in. I'm feeling a 50-50 split on this one as well. Really gives it some punch. Alright, cool. Up next, actually, I want to increase the volume on that a little bit, so increase the output. Oh yeah. Ooh, those toms need work. Alright, cool, so let's start from scratch. I'm going to turn on the oversampling so that it doesn't create any artifacts in the high end. I'm going to focus on 10K, where I like that crack. Push up the tone a little bit, but also increase the body low end right there with the low cuts Q. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. British, vintage, pristine, razor. Ooh, that's a nice cut. All right, increase the side chain so that the low end doesn't affect it too much. Push the drive. Oh, that's some crack, yeah. Blend in. Ooh, I like that. In context. Perfect. All right, now the room track. Nah, that's too noisy. Just a little bit of tortured. I'm thinking British on this one. I don't want it to be too bright. I actually want this room track to sit in the low. Emphasis on the mids. And then back it off a little bit. Maybe open it up a little bit more. Cool. Nice dark room sound. All right, so up next is the noise guitar. Which is using Pod Farm, so that tone's pretty gross, actually. Let me just add. Ooh. I want this to be as noisy as possible without taking up too much bandwidth in the mix. So. Ooh, I like that. Switching on the Assassinate for this. Turning down the tone a little bit so it doesn't take up too much space. I like it. Now then, I want to do this to the drum bus. Give me that whole drum bus. Really livens it up just a little bit. All right, now onto the clean guitar. Very pretty, but it's not going to fit in very well with the rest of the mix so far. So I'm just going to need to brighten it up and push it a little bit harder, make it a little bit warmer. Under my presets, I have one called Clean Guitar Warmer, which ironically does exactly what I want it to do. Pretty. So that's just a pristine circuit with a sidechain of 295. Low cut all the way up to here, but fattened up a little bit, just around 300 hertz. Tone cranked, high cut down to 10K, and then cranked at a resonant peak up there to drive at 9 o'clock, and mixed about 20%. Just enough to emphasize the mids and a little bit of the highs. All right. So now for the lead. I want this to feel real. Give it some body. I want it to feel warmer like we reamped it. Scooped a little bit. That was just to adjust the tonality a little bit, because the tonality felt a little bit awkward in my opinion. All right, now for the bass. Already pretty crunchy. Oh yeah, that's some crunch. This is just to emphasize the high end, the really crunchy track, without actually having to split it into different tracks. And of course, got a gain match. Cool, much crunchier bass track. All right, now the rhythms. They don't sound bad, but they do sound a little bit high-end and wiry, which may have just been the pickups I was using. So let's add my guitar warmth preset. Makes it a lot warmer for sure, but I want to blend it in more subtly. Turn it off and on. Really brings out the body of the guitars. Now I have a vocal here. Usually when I track a vocal, I do a EQ into a distressor, so that's all I have right here. And Headcrusher. Now I already have this preset called Emphasis on Brutal Vocals, but for the sake of showing you, I'll do exactly what I did for that preset live. All I am, out of the maw of the beast. Out of the jaws of the one who wants me. I'm honing in on the body that I want it to have. Out of the maw of the beast. Out of the jaws of the one who wants me. All I am. Out of the maw of the beast. Out of the jaws of the one who wants me. All I am. Out of the maw of the beast. Out of the jaws of the one who wants me. All I am. Out of the maw of the beast. Out of the jaws of the one who wants me. All I am. Out of the maw of the beast. Out of the jaws of the one who wants me. All I am. Out of the maw of the beast. All right, now I want to get a good feel for the song as it travels through its different phases. I'm going to set this here, and I'm going to put the punch up my mix preset on the master fader, just to show you what it is, and then take a good look. I'll show you how I got to that from default. Now I've got this lively sound, I'm going to turn the mix all the way down and just increase it ever so slightly until I have that focus on those integral aspects of the body through the pristine circuit. So as you can see, just messing with the simple controls of Headcrusher allows me to change the entire feel of the mix relatively quickly. With that, I feel like I've created a decent enough mix, and I could go in and EQ other stuff, but I did everything here with just the amp sims to emulate that I was recording through an amp, the distressor to emulate the fact that I would record vocals through a distressor, and Headcrusher on everything, the whole mix, just Headcrusher. Hope you learned something today about how to use Headcrusher by going in and seeing how all the different parameters work, including torture, assassinate, mix, sidechaining, drive, output, all that good stuff. So with that, have a nice day.